another session of Russian research. This is the third lecture of decision theory. Myself Tushar Thakar, assistant professor in Mechanical Engineering Department in LG Engineering College. Today we will learn a different criterion for making a decision under the uncertainty condition. So without wasting time, let's move forward. First criteria, that is Maximax criteria, means go for gold, right? So in Maximax criteria, select the decision that results in the maximum of maximum payoff. Means you have to find out the maximum outcome. Clear? That is a very optimistic decision criterion decision maker assume that the most favorable state of nature for each decision alternative will occur. In method, what we have to do, first steps we have to pick a maximum payoff of each alternative. Then in step 2, pick a maximum of those maximums in step 1. It's our corresponding alternative of your decision. These both the steps we have applied in example. In next slide, we have to find out Maximax criteria as a profit of a milk booth of a particular brand under a small, medium and large orders subject to low, moderate and high demands are shown in table. Using that, the optimistic criteria take a decision on which order is more beneficial for the owner. So this is given for profit table for both one. What happened? We have to find out in step 2 as what we do in step 2, we have to find out the maximum amount of the value from this row, and from this row we have to make one another table as a maxi of rows. Means here 1200 is maximum, here 1500 is maximum, here 1800 is maximum. We have to make another column of maxi of rows. That is the step 1. In step 2, what happened? We have to find out the maximum amount of the value from the available 3 resources. Means that is 1800. So what we have to do, that's the 1800 and corresponding the course of action they have to after selecting or after finding out step 2 what is the payoff value. Payoff value is 1800 and milkman always or milk booth always go through the course of action as a 3, means they have a large order of milk. So at large order of milk he or she will get maximum outcome. Clear? This is the first step. This is the first criterion. Now we will move forward for the second criterion, that is a maximum criteria, pessimistic criteria. So this is also known as Waldian criteria, as the criteria of decision making stands for the choice between an alternative of course of action assuming the pessimistic view of a nature. Maximum approach, what we have to do in first step, we have to find out the minimum payoff of each alternative. In step 2, we have to find out the maximum of those minimum payoff. Clear? Same, its corresponding the alternative is the decision, and this viewed as a pessimistic approach is best of the worst, means waste math is best. Clear? So this type of strategy we have to apply. Let's see in example. Same example we have to take a profit of milk and same table we have to take here. So first step, what is the first step? You have to find out the minimum value of that row, means that is a 1200. Here the minimum value is equal to 1000. Here the minimum value is equal to 800. So make a table as a mini of rows, and after making this table in step 2, what we have to do, we have to find out the maximum value of 3, means that is a 1200. So we have a corresponding. So for finding a maximum criteria, Minimax criteria, always milk booth or he or she will go through the small order of milk. He will get a 1200. Clear? This is the second criterion method. As you all know, clear this 2 criterion. Now we will move forward for the third criterion, that is the Hurwicz criterion, that is the realism criterion. In this method, there is a combination of maximin and minimax. So this is the maximin and maximax criterion, means that is the combination of first criterion and second criterion. Also that is known as a criterion of rationality, which is neither too optimistic neither too pessimistic. What is the step? First step, calculate the Hurwicz value of each alternative. Second step, pick the alternative of largest Hurwicz value as a decision. Third one, Hurwicz value of an alternative is equal to, how we find out the, another question is then how we find out the Hurwicz value. So here the equation, Hurwicz value of the alternative is equal to rho max into alpha plus rho min in bracket 1 minus alpha. Alpha is a Hurwicz value of coefficient. It will be provided in a data also. Clear? So let's see in next example, where alpha is always coefficient of rationalism, as we see that. Clear? In example, we have to find out this type of criterion. So the same table we have to take. What we have to do, first we have to make a maximin row. Means here the maximum row, we have same take parameters as 1200, that is the maximum value we have to put here, 1500 we have to put here, and 1800 we have to put over here. Now we have to make a mini of row, means 1200, 1000 and 800. Clear? Now we have to find out the Hurwicz value. Here alpha is equal to 0.6. We have to take, means coefficient of realism, that is 0.6, so 1 minus alpha is equal to 0.4. So Hurwicz value, what is the equation? Rho maximum into alpha, means rho maximum into 1200 into 0.6, and rho minimum, that is again 1200 into 0.4, we can find as a 1200 value. 1500 into 0.6 plus 1000 into 0.4, we can find out 1300 value. Again the last we can find 1400 value. Now what is the step? Next step, we have to select the maximum among the value of h obtained, means we have to find out the maximum value, that is the 1400. So corresponding three values we have to find the 1400. The same strategy Milk both apply as a course of action A3, as we got in a first criterion also. Hence large order is optimum course of action under the Hurwicz criterion. Hence the last order A3 is the optimum course of action under the Hurwicz criterion. Clear? So these all are, we have seen a three criterion. Now we will move forward for the fourth criterion, that is Minimax and Regret criterion or Salvage criterion. So in these steps, application of Minimax criterion require table of loss or table of regret instead of gains. Means here we have to require table of regret, that is loss. Regret is the amount you will give up due to not picking the best alternative. When we feel the regret, whenever you take decision and that decision will not convert in a perfect outcome or desired outcome, that decision will be known as a regret decision. Clear? Regret is equal to opportunity cost is equal to opportunity loss, right? Means opportunity loss means we have seen that opportunity loss table, we have to make it. Each and every company always announce their profit and loss every year. Clear? What is the method to find out the regret criteria? So first one step is construct a regret table. We have to make a regret table, means opportunity loss table. Second, pick the maximum regret of each row in regret table. Third one, pick the minimum of those maximums in step 2. It's corresponding to the alternative in decision. This all three steps we apply in a example. Let's say example we have to take. What we have to do? Simple. We have to make this regret table, regret criterion. So what we have to do? We have to, let's take a pen. What we have to do over here? We have to take a maximum value of the column, and that maximum value we have to subtract from the other two. We can get a regret table. Means 1200 minus 1200 we can 0, 1200 minus 1000, 200, 1200 minus 800. Same for second column, we have a 1500 as a maximum value. In third column we have a 1800 as a maximum value, right? So we can get a regret table as 0, 300, 600, 200, 0, 300, 400, 200 and 0. What is the next step? We have to find out the maxi of regret, in which table we have a maximum regret. Means here maximum regret is equal to 600 as we put over here. We have a 300 as we put again here. Here the 400 we have to put here. Means we have to find out the maximum regret, and in next step we have to find out the minimum of it. Means opportunity loss table, we have to find out the minimum of maxi of regret, that is the 300 value. Means after applying a regret criterion, milk boat will go through a course of action as a A2 as a medium. Clear? Course of action A2 as we discussed. Clear? Now we will move forward for the next method, that is equally likely Laplace criterion. That is the last criterion of decision making under uncertainty. Let's see. Same, the decision makers makes a simply assumptions that each state of nature is equally likely to occur a compute average payoff. So in Laplace they have to think that all the course of action will be equal. Clear? So they have to choose the average of payoff and choose a decision with the highest average payoff. That is known as a Laplace criterion also. Methods, we have step 1, calculate the average payoff for each alternative. Step 2, alternative which highest average. If the decision will be taken, then we have to decide that this type of decision will be the perfect, or this type of course action will be the. Now we apply both the steps into the next example. Here the same example we have to use the milk both operator. So what we have to find out? We have to find out the Laplace criterion for the course of action, that is the expected payoff value, EPV. So what is the Laplace criterion? Laplace criterion is equal to 1 by n, that is n means total payoff value, means here 3 value are there, so we have to take P1, P2 and P3. So here 1 by n in bracket P1 plus P2 plus P3 up to so n Pn, that is P means that is the value of payoff. Clear? So first we find out the EPV of A1, that is action A1. So 1 by 3, 1200 plus 1200 plus 1200, we can get a 1200. Means for A1 action we can find out Laplace criterion as a 1200. For EPV A2, 1000, 1 by 3000 plus 1500 plus 1500, we can get 1333.33 value. And EPV of A3 we can got again a 1300 value. So among that we have to take a maximum value for the course of action, that is the 1333.33 course of action. Means milk booth will apply a corresponding to the course of action as a A2. So these all are the criterion we had learned up to the so far. So that are the 5 criterion, and based on that 5 criterion we have to calculate which type of course of action we have to apply for getting a perfect outcome and for making your decisions perfect. Clear? In next lecture we will learn another third decision, that is decision making under the risk. Thank you.